whole thing started in San Francisco in 2005. A group of architects fed the meter for 2 hours. The idea is to take an on-street car park and turn it into a public park just for one day. And it's really about imagining a better city and a city that's better to live in. Actually 20,000 on-street parking spaces in the city centre. Each parking space takes up 10 square metres, so that's 200,000 square metres of car parks given up to the city centre. They're not doing anything, it's just taking up space.
It's an interesting way to kind of, bring an awareness of, art to the public like that. It allows the public to kind of interact and to kind of really rethink. It just gives you an idea of how big a parking space actually is, It's like, you can do a lot with it.
Well, for me, I just think it's really fun that I've never considered that if you spend €2.70, you own this little spot for 1 hour and you can do whatever you like. You don't have to put a car in there. You can put a picnic in there, you can sit down, you can read a book. It doesn't all have to be about cars.
I guess as a landscape architect, it's big to, get people to think about how we use urban space and maybe how difficult it is to actually have space to use in the city. Because this space is taking up a car park bay, it kind of gets the dialogue going about, do we need that many cars in the city? Can we use that space more productively for different types of people, different types of uses? And so it kind of gets that dialogue going.
On the continent, you notice a lot, and maybe less so here, is that the streets are available for people to share, communal experiences. And whether that's the parks of the city, but it's just quite nice to think that, that there can be more interaction, that it doesn't have to be based outside, standing outside a bar. Street culture basically, which is manifesting itself a lot through cafes in the city as well, and certain spaces that are being pedestrianised. Well, I think a lot of it is giving it back to the cyclists and pedestrians as opposed to the articulated lorries and cars. I think it's more a question of a comfortable coexistence, so that, the city isn't solely dominated by car culture.
For me, it's been an opportunity to highlight the need for green space, more green space in the city. It's been also a really lovely opportunity to meet neighbours that I wouldn't have met before. Quite a lot of traffic going up and down, and often can drive very, very fast, and I think people don't realise that there are children living on the street. So one of the things we wanted to do was to highlight the fact that there are children and that children need to play, so we've got the play theme there, and to try and get cars to slow down a little bit so children can come out onto the street and be safe.
The parking day principle or ethos is just impossible to argue with. The idea of creating more space for people, nobody can say, no, I don't want that. And so at least it leaves it open to conversation about what that space might mean to them personally.